The Napa Valley is renowned for its world-class vineyards and wines. But it's also teeming with extraordinary chefs, innovative farmers, and visionary tastemakers who have elevated this region to one of the culinary gems of the world. I'm Carlton McCoy, Master Sommelier and Napa Valley native. Now, I'm meeting with a farmer making a name for herself as a premier grower of some of Napa Valley's most extraordinary and unusual produce.
That's insane.
I'm also joining forces with a culinary sensation who can turn any fictional dish into a reality for his over 10 million followers.
Oh, I want to see what they taste like. So
Alongside a daring chef who used congee as her secret weapon to win Top Chef and take the LA restaurant scene by storm. Every table tells a story. Let the feast begin. Napa's got this incredible Mediterranean-style climate. We're talking warm, dry summers and mild winters. It's like Mother Nature set it up perfectly for growing just about anything you can imagine. It's amazing to see what these chefs and farmers do with this bounty. They're not just cooking. They're pushing boundaries, telling stories, and really celebrating where they come from through food. So today, we're visiting a very unique farm, Radical Family Farms, run by Leslie. She has a very unique ethos where she only grows vegetables from her diaspora, from China and from Southeast Asia, where her family's from. To me, it's gonna be really incredible to see how you focus on just like one part of the world and what grows in that place. Cooking with us, we have Chef Mei Lin, famed chef. Her cooking should go hand in hand with the vegetables and the produce that Leslie grows. Joining for dinner today, we have Andrew Rea, famous for Binging with Babish. So what he does is he makes food approachable for everyone, which is critically important. We're really interesting to hear his perspective, especially on Mei Lin's food and all the ethos and the farming that Leslie's doing at Radical Family Farms. Napa's commitment to sustainable and organic farming isn't just trendy. It's a way of life. The shorter farm-to-table pipeline here means fruits and vegetables are often harvested at peak ripeness, preserving all their nutrients and tastes.
oh, that's some good-looking lettuce right there.
Which is exactly what Leslie does at Radical Family Farms. The soil here is like her laboratory,
Oh, wow.
This is gorgeous.
where she can constantly experiment with different growing conditions for her uncommon produce.
So this is traditional Chinese bitter melon?
This variety is a Japanese variety of
cool.
bitter melon, and I have 3 varieties that I planted. And sometimes I cross-pollinate and hybridize.
Like mad scientist.
Yeah.
So what do
This
you call
area
that
is
one if it's Chinese, half Japanese?
a good mix.
A good mix. Just a general Asian
Yeah.
melon, bitter melon.
Did they take to this climate well, or is it challenging to grow them here?
Initially, when I started the farm in 2019, it was just out in the field. It wasn't trellised, and there wasn't a lot of fruit. So I had one bitter melon planted in a hoop house that was accidental, and it turned into this giant, we call it the bitter melon monster. And it was just all the way to the top. I'm like, it likes this growing condition. Yeah. So that's the challenge with my farm, because a lot of my vegetables are Asian varieties, is to try to recreate the growing conditions,
Sure.
the natural growing conditions. Yeah.
So how many different varietals of vegetables do you grow here?
Generally over 60.
Oh,
so
wow.
yeah, a lot of variety compared to most other farms.
Because this is a pretty unique collection of vegetables.
When I started the farm in 2019, it was really like an exploration of my personal identity
Yeah.
of being a mixed heritage, Chinese, Taiwanese, and German and Polish.
Okay.
So I used the farming to learn about my ancestry and
Yeah.
my heritage.
Chef Mei Lin, should we get some bitter melon for tonight?
Yeah, we should.
Yeah.
Can we get like a few different varietals? I want to try them all
Yeah.
if possible.
Some have different levels of bitterness.
Yeah.
The white variety is less bitter and a little more juicy.
Okay.
Let's get that
Oh.
white one, the
white
not
one,
as
yeah,
bitter
he's
one.
got his eye
Oh,
on
you
not
want
too
the
bitter
white one? Okay.
Whoa, look at that thing.
Native to India, bitter melon is a fascinating ingredient with deep roots in Asian cooking and medicine, going back thousands of years.
They're bitter, right?
Yeah. And they're tough, too, so it's just
Yeah.
like a double whammy.
Its distinctive skin An intensely bitter flavor can make it pretty challenging to work with.
Like
Whoa.
this is,
So incredible.
That's
yeah.
insane. Do you eat the seeds?
No, you don't eat the seeds.
Okay.
That looks like nature saying, don't eat this.
Yeah.
For skilled chefs like Mei Lin, bitter melon is like a culinary puzzle. It's tricky, but that's the fun part.
It's so cool that you're growing this here.
What do we got?
Of these, so this is Szechuan peppercorn.
Wow.
This is my first plant that I experimented with in 2019. It's a bush. It's going to be giant eventually, but it takes years to establish. I love Szechuanese food, the ma and the la. So the la is the chili pepper and the ma is the Szechuan peppercorn. And that's what we have here.
The leaves smell incredible.
Yeah.
Do people eat the leaves?
Yes, you can go ahead and try it.
You just went right in with a whole leaf, huh?
Oh yeah, I love
Okay.
it. But it's not spicy, it's tingly.
Can I eat a pepper?
Well, I mean,
Sure.
is it as tingly as like the peppercorn itself?
It's not as,
Okay. Because Szechuan peppercorn can put a hurting on you.
but oh yeah, it's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, okay. It's a unique sensation.
Oh wait, you ate the peppercorn, good.
A couple of them.
I would just recommend one.
Yeah.
Yeah, one.
One's good.
I always struggle with Szechuan peppercorn. I'm gonna be very open with you.
They're delicious.
Do you chew it?
That's what I did.
Well, I mean, you could just have it linger on your tongue.
Okay.
It's a little less intense.
I'm gonna go the Tic Tac technique.
Okay.
Wow,
You're gonna suck
already.
it down. It's very
Okay.
floral.
You can hallucinate, but you eat too many of these, right? Oh.
It's definitely an acquired taste, but I love it.
Now it's time to cool off a bit after that peppercorn heat with one of my favorites, an old Cuban. Made with Ron Zacapa rum.
We're gonna cut some of the bitter melon into 1/4 of an inch slices.
Something like this?
Yep,
Okay,
exactly.
yeah.
I'll help you peel some of the garlic.
Oh, thank you. It's my least favorite job in the world.
I enjoy it. There's some therapy to it.
You guys ready for a cocktail over there?
Yeah, we're talking about therapy, so we must be. What kind of cocktail are you making over there?
It's a classic rum cocktail. All this heat, figure we get a little tropical vibe for you.
And now what are you gonna make with this bitter melon?
We're gonna do a dish that I actually grew up eating, a stir-fried bitter melon with some pork that's been marinated in some soy sauce and some Shaoxing wine in a fermented black bean sauce.
All right, a little break.
Oh, hell yeah.
You've been working so hard.
Thank you.
Cheers.
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 To bitter melon.
Bitter melon and sweet drinks. Oh, that's got a nice, grapefruit?
It's got mint, so
Yeah.
you're getting that herbaceousness, the bitterness.
I was testing you. I have a perfect palate, don't worry.
I'm gonna start rendering some of this fat from the jowl.
So Andrew, you're obviously one of the most influential food personalities in the world at this point.
Oh my God.
Where did you start cooking?
I was always crazy about cooking. I was never very good at it.
I don't think that's true. Come on.
So I just decided to make one of the most famous platforms of food.
I've never really cooked professionally. I've never had any training or anything, as you can tell from my knife technique. It was kind of a way to feel closer to my mom. She passed away when I was 11, and she cooked for us every night. And
Was she a good cook?
Yeah. No, I mean, not all of it was
Obviously, yeah,
bangers.
she-
I'm not gonna,
None of it was a banger.
not to speak ill of the dead, but
Mom Dukes, I love you, but a little sear on the beef would have been nice.
amen.
It obviously left a legacy for you, like a love of food.
I really like thinking of myself as the continuation of both my mother and my father's legacy. My father's a photojournalist, and she was a cook.
So a lot of times what you do is I watch your videos, and you're sort of reenacting a lot of dishes from movies.
Yeah.
And showing people how to cook them. I think it brings a lot of relevance to food, where it's not just cooking a dish. You can connect it to a film that you've seen or a series that you love.
And is it just me, or is when you see food in your favorite movie, you want to try it? It's the one way that you can bring a tangible piece of your favorite fandom into your home. There's very few other ways you can have a vicarious experience like that.
It's so important because people like you make it relevant, right? It's not just the chore of cooking. There can be some cultural connection to what you're doing, right? Even if it's through pop culture.
Yeah.
We're just gonna flash fry this. That's a good sound, right?
It's a very good, look, it's already getting crispy. The fat kid in me is so excited about crispy fried meat. Oh, that looks so good. Awesome. Ooh, what's that?
Bouillon.
Oh, bouillon, okay. I love that whip of the wrist, chef. Style points.
We actually blanched the bitter melon
Okay.
to kind of take away that astringency and the bitterness. Some of the bitterness, not all of it.
Damn it.
You need the garlic? Okay, here we go. How much do you need?
Just half of that.
You got like the two stooges over here trying to pull this together for you. Oh, that's beautiful. I'm gonna do some work on this, Chef Mei Lin.
I hope that you do. Okay, I think we're good to go.
Oh, that looks great.
Fantastic. Let's eat it.
It's amazing how just a few dishes, some well-chosen wine, and great company can turn an ordinary evening into something unforgettable.
All right, let's eat.
When we sit down around a table, it's like we're changing gears, ready to savor not just the food, but the moment, the conversation, and the whole experience.
So, Matt Taylor, world-famous winemaker, beautiful man, deep-sea diver. Tell us what we're drinking, because this wouldn't be a feast table without some good wine. Most importantly.
Incredible. So first thing you guys have in your glass is a 2022 Sauvignon Blanc from our immigrated property. This property just runs right down the side of a mountain. And this is a Sauvignon Blanc down about 700 feet.
Ingrade's like, it's an insane ranch.
I didn't feel that there was the possibility to make wines like this in Napa because everybody's been so kind of pushing this model of very plush, very ripe, very oaked, and higher alcohol, and that's not what I kind of am inspired by. I think when we all have these older 70s, 80s Napa cabs, you just get that purity. This is an incredible example of that, and especially with this cuisine, where you have something really, 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 really pure.
Chef, you were born in China? Where in China?
In the southern part, called Toisan. Didn't grow up there, but I actually just recently visited where I was from, and it was a really eye-opening experience, very humbling. You know, growing up with parents who are in the restaurant industry, this is the food I grew up eating. So for me to express that onto a plate and to cook it for all of you today it's an honor for me.
When did you decide to cook professionally?
I was having a little bit of a midlife crisis, if you will, at 20 years old. I didn't know what I wanted to do, so I got the suggestion of, hey, you know, you really love to cook, you really love entertaining. Why don't you go to culinary school?
Did you focus on like actual like Chinese cuisine, or was it all like European, right?
Very European-centric, yeah. It wasn't until much later that I decided that I really wanted to get back into cooking the food that I grew up eating. I was just getting bored. Everything just felt the same. And I really wanted to tell my story and what those flavors were.
And it's probably the greatest way to learn someone's story is through like eating
Through
the
their
food
food,
that they were
yeah.
raised on, right? Like I remember very vividly when I was in culinary school, it was probably 85% French.
Yeah.
And then there was cuisines of Asia, just generally
Yeah,
cuisines
general.
of Asia. And my grandmother used to overnight me chitlins every like Thanksgiving if I couldn't make it home. I would heat them up in the dorm. I don't know if you've smelled chitlins cooking.
Oh, I have. Oh, yeah.
It's a formidable scent. And they started asking, what are they? And when you taste them, it's like incredible. It was like there's a massive story, like multi-generations of people in my family cooking this. And you learn so much about a person through their food.
Yeah. How's the bitter melon, though?
I'm enjoying it much more than I thought I might.
Oh, good.
From my
Good.
experiences
bitter
on the farm. But yeah,
So, Jeff, we convince you maybe a future life in California.
future life. What about right now? Go back to Brooklyn with the cockroaches. How am I supposed to do that? Look at the sunset.
You can make great content here.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
We're doing it right now. Look at the cameras.
To be honest, I really love what you do. I think you make food very exciting.
Yeah, no, I really appreciate your sentiments because that's the way you've made me feel about wine. You've made me feel not afraid to express what this wine does for me and how I feel about it rather than how I should feel about it. You know what I mean?
You know, it's like we produce these beautiful things. Chef produces incredible food. You make incredible content. Matt makes beautiful wine. And we just want to share with people. And the interesting thing is the creators, the people who create these things, they're just really excited and blessed to be able to make a living doing what they love to do. And I just consume it all.
Not a bad deal.
That's it. No, but I think it's really important. It's like what I love about food and wine and what I always have loved about it. When it's that cliche, it brings people together, but it's so important that we have a platform to bring people together, right? For no other reason just to eat and drink, and it's enough, right? we're in this industry because this is what we love to do.
That's why we're sitting here right now, so we can tell these stories and have other people feel more comfortable sharing their own or trying something different.
And drinking baller-ass wine.
Here's to drinking baller-ass
Feed
wine.
into me the
Thank you, guys.
My God.
Thank you.
Thank you for dinner, Chef. That was fantastic.
You pulled it off with a tepid walk.